This is another episode of UFO Garage.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Joe, and this is where we talk about UFOs, aliens, and all things weird.
All things weird, baby. Joe, what's going on, dude?
Not a lot, Dr. Scientist Ben.
Oh, Dr. Scientist Joseph. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Greetings.
Nice to meet me, please.
Nice to meet me as well. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. And just been chilling. I made a Philly cheesesteak today. I'm trying to get good at making Philly cheesesteaks.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
That
sounds delicious.
I've got half of a rib side. Did you know that Philly cheesesteaks are made from ribeye?
Wow.
So I found like a cheap, like $7 ribeye at HEB. You gotta like mince it up.
Pretty interesting.
Dude, it was so good.
What kind of cheese did you use?
Provolone.
Dude. What kind of bread?
So good. It was it's called a French roll stick, but it's like a thin French roll.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, anyway.
That sounds delicious.
So good, bro.
Bro, you know what I had for lunch today?
What?
A Lunchable. And it had a wild cherry Capri Sun.
Just one?
Just one, yeah. I should have brought more, but trying to conserve right now.
Did you get the pizza one or the
No,
the
I got
cracker?
the turkey and cheese. And it came with a Reese's.
Okay.
And wild cherry.
Damn, yeah. That Capri Sun's always like one sip.
Yeah. I was pretty disappointed. Luckily, I had a Dr. Pepper.
And people wonder why like we're obsessed with charcuterie because we grew up on the damn Lunchables, bro.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
you're probably starving right now.
Well, then I upgraded from the Lunchable, and before I came over here, I had the all classic Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, you always get Taco Bell before you come over.
Yeah. It's kind of it's right outside of my work, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't feel like driving anywhere else, like out of my way,
Yeah.
to grab food. So I just stopped by Taco Bell, and
Dude, it's the best. I would claim to say that Taco Bell is my favorite fast food restaurant.
I didn't eat Taco Bell for like years, bro. I think like midway through high school, I probably stopped eating Taco Bell. And for some reason, when we started doing this podcast, I stopped at Taco Bell. And now it's like my weekly Wednesday thing.
Dude.
And, we've been doing it for what, almost 2 months now? 3 months
Sponsored by Taco Bell, bro.
I like the old slogan, you better run for the border.
What?
And then it had the bell.
I don't remember that.
You remember that? It was pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
I remember the Taco Bell dog. The little chihuahua.
Yeah. You'll get a Taco Bell. And then Godzilla came out, and then he was like, "Here, lizard."
Oh yeah.
Remember that, dude?
Yeah.
Man, I used to love those commercials back in the day.
Remember the?
And then somebody got mad. They were like, "That's racist."
Yeah. I mean, come on.
You were like,
it's a Mexican food place.
Yeah.
You remember the?
I know a lot of Mexicans because my family's, half Mexican. I know a lot with Chihuahuas. So, I mean, I can't, it's not like I can be like, that's not.
It's not far off.
It's not wrong.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Mexicans with Chihuahuas.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what like the white person equivalent of a dog would be, like a golden retriever. Bush's baked beans? Is that racist? Is that racist?
I'm offended.
I'm so offended.
The other half of me is offended right now, dude. I'm telling you.
It's a secret.
Man, what's that dog's name? Dang.
No.
I can't think of it. But he always gives the secret. Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, don't tell anybody.
Yeah. That cheating ass dog, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, that's messed up. Dude, but back in the day, Taco Bell was on point when they had all the Nintendo 64 toys.
Oh.
And then, like, when the Tick was, like, really huge. Man, dude, Nintendo 64 changed my life.
Dude,
there was so much good stuff on N64.
Yeah. Dude, I remember playing Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, almost every... Well, also... Well, actually, the first game I ever played on N64 was GoldenEye, and I played it at Travis's house a couple weeks ago. And dude, it is so hard to play.
It still holds up to this day.
And it still holds up. It was really fun, but it's so hard.
I used to love it. And Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah,
that was fun too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Nintendo 64 held it down.
Held it down, dude. That joystick though, that's a weird controller with the joystick in the middle. And you gotta like switch over if you want to use the directionals, the D-pad.
Yeah,
get that D-pad, baby.
I never used the D-pad.
Yeah.
Never.
I ended up using the D-pad because I'm used to it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
I usually use it on the PlayStation now.
Well, during Nintendo 64, I had hit puberty, so I was kind of used to using my middle stick. So, I was pretty good with a joystick. You know what I'm saying?
Same size and everything.
God damn. Shit. Oh man, so what do we got? What do we got on Facebook today, dude?
Man, we had a few awesome things this week. We just wrote some stuff down. I'm totally blanking as I'm refreshing the page. but that drone that you posted, the Romanian engineers, is pretty cool. But so I did some research on it, and it's basically just a regular 4-blade drone.
It's just a drone, and they put a shell over it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
God, I'm stupid.
I mean, you're keeping content on the page.
I thought I was posting groundbreaking material here.
It's not a bad thing. So Jess's friend Julia, Jess and Julia were riding in the car on their way back from getting ice cream last week.
Yeah.
So they're driving, it's at nighttime, and Julia's in the passenger seat, pulls out her phone to take a picture of this huge Texas flag. So we're in Austin, Texas flag, and it's lit up. So I think it doesn't look like the camera has a flash on, but it definitely looks like maybe there's some spotlights on the flag. And she takes a photo of the flag, and she looks at the camera, and then looks back up, and she says she saw this light not only in the photo, but after she saw it in the photo, she looked up and saw it in the sky, and it was going pretty fast across the sky, just a really bright light.
Yeah.
Not as fast and dissipating as a shooting star, but she said it looked like an airplane, like a really fast, bright light. So she didn't really know what to think of it. But yeah, she sent me that photo, and I posted it.
So it was definitely a UFO.
Yeah. I mean, it's unidentified. Unidentified.
It wasn't an advanced aerial phenomenon, was it?
I don't know. Maybe it was an aerial threat phenomenon, right? If you want to go Tom DeLonge, Tom DeLonge route,
or maybe an ARV, an alien reproduction vehicle.
Yep, exactly.
Right. Yeah. This was just a simple UFO.
Yeah, it's just a regular one,
and that's what we do. We're the UFO podcast.
Yeah, So yeah, I posted it also on the UFO. Texas UFO Network, and some guy said it might be a reflection off of a bug, but I unless that bug was the size of a Volkswagen and flew in front of the spotlights for the flag, I doubt that was a bug.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. Did you write that, or did they write that?
They wrote Julia wrote that. Yeah.
You sent it to me, and it was like, "Is this a UFO?" And then at the bottom, I didn't see the question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, and so I was like, I don't know, but those 3 red dots down at the bottom.
Oh, right, they look like stars or something.
They look like a triangle with the red dots.
Oh, dude,
that's what I was like. Who gives a shit about that thing? I want to know what these red dots are down here. And then I was like, oh, I'm dumb again.
Yeah. Oh, they're the dots for the question marks.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay. Crazy. So yeah, I posted on Texas UFO Network, and I got a lot of feedback. I also did an @UFO Garage Podcast, so hopefully people came. We got a few more views and subscribes today.
Oh yeah,
this week.
Yeah.
Another one is the Dogon tribe. Yeah. I've heard a lot about the Dogon tribe, especially in just documentaries in general about UFOs and ancient aliens and things like that. And they claim to have had knowledge when Europeans, I guess, first came in contact with this tribe, and they claimed to have knowledge of was it Sirius B?
Yeah,
the planet that you can't see with any conventional telescope or the naked eye.
It has to be super high powered.
Yeah, and then astronomers didn't find it until the 1980s or something like that.
That's crazy. And the Dogon knew about the planets surrounding it too, right?
Yeah. So
that's pretty crazy. They were like, hey, we know of this planet.
Yeah.
There's many planets around this star.
Yeah.
And the Europeans were like, shut up.
So the fact that they
you guys are dumb.
They described that planets surround a sun is way more knowledge than we had back in the the old days, starting in the 1500s or something.
Yeah, so those guys were way ahead of the game, because we were still the Earth is the center of the universe.
Yeah,
and it's flat.
We're still somebody's still saying
Somebody
it's fucking
still
flat.
thinks that.
But anyway, that's pretty interesting. That galaxy black hole. You read that article.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. How the center of the center of our Milky Way galaxy and the center of all galaxies, there's a supermassive black hole.
It's like
That's exactly what it sounds
it's
like. Even a little more
it
than
like
that.
it gives you tingles, and then it's like.
So, dude,
Have you seen that Tim and Eric
I
episode?
haven't seen that. No.
Thanks for going along with it.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem.
You should look up the universe bit by Tim and Eric. It's so funny, dude.
I'll check that out. But so the supermassive black hole, it's sucking all this stuff in, right? Is that why galaxies are mainly like spiral shapes?
Has to
Right?
be.
I mean, that's
if
why,
you look at
right?
a vortex,
Yeah. Or like your toilet,
dude,
or
the
your
toilet,
sink, or anything
dude,
that's
it's
like sucking stuff in. Like, I mean, that's why it's all.
I think so, right?
I mean, it's got to be.
The fractal nature of the universe is apparent in a lot of things, and
absolutely.
I think the black hole might have some similar attributes.
It just keeps things flowing, keeps them moving.
Yeah,
but
dude.
yeah. So apparently, they say that in May of 2019, that they think a giant star that's 15 times the size of our own sun was getting sucked in, and so it lit up. But the thing is they've never seen it light up like that before.
Whoa.
They started observing it, and within 2 hours, it lit up more than 17 times brighter than we've ever seen it before.
Whoa!
And so that's what was kind of cool about it.
Was this in our galaxy?
Yeah, the Milky Way.
I would say
yeah.
our galaxy.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's in the Milky Way. So that's at the center of our galaxy.
Damn.
The black hole just lit up.
It just ate a huge star.
Something. And so they say that we won't be able to see it again until like next year or something. I guess it's being sucked in, but it's going around.
Oh, it's
Yeah, so it's just shooting this stuff out around the entire galaxy. And so like
That's
next
crazy.
year we'll be able to observe it again. I'm not really sure how that works.
I feel like, I mean, doesn't time slow down in the center of a black hole?
Apparently, from what I understand, if you were to get sucked into a black hole, you are being pulled apart for infinity.
Forever, yeah.
Yeah. You're constantly being pulled apart for infinity.
Yeah.
So that's forever.
Dude.
So yeah.
Well,
Have you ever heard the theory on white holes,
No.
where there's also holes that are like white and they're ejecting things? And so how
Interesting.
some people think that the black hole sucks all this crap in,
Okay.
and then in another part of the universe, or maybe like another dimension, it's creating a universe because it's throwing shit out.
Maybe it's the other side of the wormhole that the black hole is creating.
Or
so
maybe-
it's like this little shortcut.
Yeah. Or maybe it's some sort of like Big Bang happening,
Oh, yeah, dude.
where it's just like, and it's blowing all
Like-
the stuff that...
like,
I don't have to look at that.
dude, that's pretty nuts. I mean, yeah, no one knows what's on the other side of a black hole, but you gotta. I have a hunch that whatever's on the other side is it's like a tube almost, and we just can't see the other side. But if you go into it, of course, like, I mean, people say like you get stretched for infinity, but
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
I don't know.
If the Superhadron Collider makes mini black holes, how come, like, I know they're like instant, so you couldn't like send anything into it, but could you?
Maybe you could one day
You know, like with like a
know,
little
man.
nanobot or something.
send
like,
in a little Lunchable sandwich in there, see what happens.
see what happens. You're like, okay, all right, it's on a screen, and then you have a Lunchable sandwich being just pulled apart for infinity. You're like, what a waste of space.
Like, they're really serious about it. They're like, all right, releasing the Lunchable sandwich in 5, 4. Wait, Jerry, did you put the cheese on there? How many slices?
Jerry, damn it, Jerry! I told you to
Jerry.
put more cheese.
It's 2 slices of ham and 2 slices of cheese. Everybody knows that.
You got to, or else you end up with extra crackers.
Exactly, man.
Or
It all
extra
works
meat
out.
and cheese. There's not enough. They don't give you enough crackers to do single meat and cheese.
I know, man.
Drives me nuts.
Oh, that's funny.
That's pretty funny.
So Joseph, what's up, dude? Thanks for that post on this movie called Flight of the Navigator. I somehow, so me and Joe were talking before the podcast, and we were watching this little video you posted, and we've both never ever heard of this movie.
We for some reason completely missed this.
Yeah, completely missed us, and it looks so good,
dude. It looks awesome. Yeah,
yeah, dude, it looks great.
Man, that's one hip UFO.
Seriously,
he was like my favorite part in the preview, and he was like, dude.
Yeah, the AI in the UFO. Like, he said something about 7-Eleven.
Yeah. He was like, why am I asking you? You don't know the difference between your home and a 7-Eleven. He was cracking on him because he's a little kid. And then he was like, dude. It sounds like our segues.
Yeah.
Dude. Segue.
Yeah. Anytime we talk, we switch subjects. It's like, dude. Wait.
Have you heard?
So yeah, we got to watch that. That looks freaking awesome.
Good one, man.
That ship that you were saying reminded you of the Pascagoula case. Pascagoula. Jesus, I'm so bad at pronouncing things. Shout out to Alejandra who reached out to us on Facebook, sent us a message, and wanted us to look into this Pascagoula case. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, awesome.
It happened.
I've heard about it.
Oh, you
have?
Okay.
I've heard about it, but it's one of those things that you just kind of skip over for whatever reason, you know?
Yeah.
I've heard about the case, and I've heard this, but this is the first time that I actually sat down and listened to it.
Okay.
And maybe it was because, like I said, the guy reminded me of the redneck ninja and the Judy chop.
How did you say it?
The Judy chop.
Come on, where do you do like that?
Now I'm going to show you how to Judy chop this here can. You're going to stand here like this, right? You're going to Judy chop it like that.
Judy chop.
That's a ninja Judy chop. So yeah, I don't know why I never looked into it, but it's a pretty sweet case. Pretty awesome.
I love
Super
it.
compelling. And you know, usually you look into like these UFO cases and then like you'll look at comments and stuff and they're like, you know, horseshit, fake, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Everybody's showing this guy love.
Oh yeah, everybody loves the guy.
Yeah, everybody's giving this man some love. Like he's really genuine.
He's a genuine, just like sweet guy, like sweet old guy. You know?
Yeah. He's like, you know, we're just old country boys. You know, we you know, always doing chores and stuff like that. We never, you know, really watched TV.
Yeah.
You know, couldn't afford plastic trash bags.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That was awesome. I love that. I like that guy. He's like, he's either watching The Wizard of Oz or the president on the TV.
He only had 3 channels.
There's 3 channels on there.
Yeah, on there, man.
I love that, dude.
You're
totally right, man. That reminds me of like every older man that in the town that we grew up in.
Yeah,
you know?
seriously.
It's really it's extremely authentic.
Yeah, I mean, I connect to the guy immediately, and so the interview that I listened to, I couldn't find not a lot of main media outlets or you know, your usual UFO researcher has done any kind of like really produced video on this guy. So
yeah.
We just listened. I sent you that link. I think we watched the same thing that interview.
Yeah, Alejandra, if you know about the second part of that interview, shoot it over to us. We want to check it out. And also, we saw that you bought a UFO Garage T-shirt.
Woo,
right?
baby!
Go ahead and take a picture, man, and post it on our Facebook. Represent.
That would be so dope.
Yeah. We want to see. We want to see it. So go on ahead and post that for us.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Definitely.
And again, thanks for reaching out.
We love that, dude.
I would never have heard about this case had not someone who's listening to the podcast reached out and was like, hey, you know, you should check this out. So if you're listening and you guys know of a story kind of like this, send us a message and we'll talk about it. Like,
yeah, totally.
We're still learning too. Like, there's so many stories out there. I have to feel like that no one's ever heard of. And if you just do a little bit of research, you know, we'll bring it to light. And the more we talk about it, the more people know about it. And it's just fun to talk about too. You know?
And this is a pretty legitimate case.
Super legit.
Extremely legitimate.
All the, like, just the specificities of his story, and also like the fact that he's the only living person to experience this. You know, even in his town, there's like a lot of people that nowadays, this happened in 1973. But yeah, he said not a lot of people are still alive that were there around the time that this happened. But it's just this one guy, and his story has never changed. You know, there's his buddy that he was with, Charles Hickson, that I guess has passed away since. He was significantly older, I think.
Yeah, it was one of his dad's buddies.
Yeah, his buddy's dad. Yeah, yeah. So
he was in his 40s at the time.
Yeah. So the story is, we'll get into the story. So it's 1973. Co-workers Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker. Calvin Parker's the main guy giving this interview. They're working at the shipyard, right?
Yeah,
they're
shipyard
in Mississippi, and there's like rivers everywhere, and they're working at this shipyard. And I guess they get off of work, and they're fishing right in this kind of swampland area. There's like a river going by, and all of a sudden they see this really bright light behind them, and they kind of put their fishing poles down, and they're thinking like, oh man, did I like double park or park illegally or something? And it feels like it's a really, really bright light. Maybe there's police behind us. And they look around, and this huge kind of, was it like a teardrop shape kind of ship?
Yeah, it looked like a teardrop, kind of a lemony shape.
Yeah, lemon shape, and it was like shiny.
Dude, one of my favorite parts that he was talking about in that story was when he said he was like, hey, you want to go fishing? And he was like, well, I don't have any of my fishing gear with me. And he says, don't worry, you can borrow mine. And he was like, I felt uncomfortable about it because you're more likely around that time to get away with running away with somebody's wife than you are to use another man's fishing equipment.
See,
I love that, dude.
Those are the specifics of his story that are so good.
Yeah,
like, it's so wholesome. Like,
yeah, it's like, I believe this man 100% all right.
Yeah, the antidotes are so spot on, and oh man, it's just America coming through in all aspects. Dude.
Absolutely. Yeah. So they see this light, right?
Yeah. And this ship, it's like this shiny kind of lemon-shaped, pointing at the ends. Honestly, looks like, you said it earlier, Joe. You were like, it kind of looks like the Pascagoula ship that was on that movie trailer that we were talking about.
Yeah, the Flight of the Navigator.
Flight of the Navigator. It looks kind of like that, right?
It looks like that, yeah, dude. Yeah.
Which is like super serendipitous. Like, what? Anyway, so they're kind of just, they put their fishing poles down, and they're looking at the ship, and they see three beings come out of this ship, and then the door opens, and it's a really bright light, and these three beings come out, and they're floating above the ground. And the description, I've never heard a description of an ET like this, but it's like their legs are almost fused together as like one kind of appendage, and their arms are kind of long, and they have like claw-like things on their hands, for hands, right?
Yeah, kind of like a lobster.
Like a lobster, and then
Zoidberg.
Zoidberg. Master Zoidberg. And they don't really have like a neck in their head. There's no face, there's no eyes, but there's like protruding nose-like appendages coming out the front, the back, and the left and the right. And he said they kind of move kind of robotic, but they're like floating above this water in this marshland, and they come up to Calvin and Charles and kind of, I guess, just grab them, and then their bodies kind of go numb. I mean, that's the weirdest part for me too, is that they're standing there and they don't run. They're like, they stay there. They're almost like transfixed, like almost as if that ship was emitting some kind of frequency that.
Yeah, you're kind of like a bug to a light.
Yeah, like
you just I can't look away.
Yeah,
from it.
dude. Yeah, exactly. Like,
I mean, well, like if you were in that situation,
right,
and you see a door open and three things come out, like, I think in my head I would think, should I run?
Yeah,
they could probably catch me anyways. Right. Maybe I should just stand here, like, be still. Maybe they can't see me. Like,
right.
I don't know if I would run either.
I don't know either. Because I mean, like, what if
What if it pisses them off?
Yeah, what
if they're like being cool and then you run away and then they're like, all right, I'm gonna get you.
I feel like nothing would be scarier than having something chase you.
Yeah,
you know, maybe just watching them come and try to pick you up is less scary than something chasing your ass down.
Yeah, totally. And he thought that it was the sheriff's department coming to shoo him away because it was private property, but nobody had been there for years and nobody used that property. But when they saw this light, they were like, "Oh, well, that's it. Sheriff's coming to shoo us off." But then it was like really quick. They thought, "Oh, the sheriff. Oh my God, what are these things coming out of this thing?"
Yeah. Imagine seeing something that you've never, ever, you can't register what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? They probably never even heard of a UFO.
And he said, and then that's what he said. He says, we didn't really hear much about these UFOs. If somebody would have said UFO to me, I'd have thought they was talking about some kind of fish or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly what he said. He was like, I didn't know nothing about no UFOs.
Yeah, UFO,
right?
man.
And it's like, yeah, dude, I would assume so.
That's proof right there.
Because, like you say, he didn't watch TV or nothing like that. So, I mean, we kind of had this UFO craze, in the 40s and the 50s and stuff like that. But, that's just, life in the South.
Yeah, and still in 73, there's only there's only 3 different news anchors, and that was it.
Yeah.
There not a lot of stories of the paranormal or weird.
Right.
Ever.
You couldn't get information like you could today.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He said he didn't have cell phones. You can't look stuff up, and I mean, yeah, just the detail that he goes into his experience is like so believable.
Yeah.
But so anyway, they're both of their. So at this point, it's kind of like first person. His body goes numb. Even his eyelids, he can't blink them, and his body kind of goes horizontally, and he floats with this robot kind of like being, and he can't really see a lot because his eyes are fixated up, and he can't move his neck or his head, but he knows that he's being levitated towards this ship, right? And then. So I guess I can't remember if he knows that his buddy is also being taken as well. I can't remember if he says that.
Well, he says that he can't really see much.
Yeah.
And I guess until they get into the ship.
Yeah.
When they're kind of, I guess they're side by side.
Okay.
Or something, and he looks around, and he kind of sees his buddy all over on the side.
Yeah.
But that's about the extent of it.
Yeah.
Because then they started doing the tests.
Yeah. So the robot kind of floating being takes him in and puts him on a table, and this other being comes in, and it's like this wrinkly gray kind of. I guess the robot people are more wrinkly, but this other being, and he doesn't really describe how many appendages those have, right? Can you remember did he describe what they?
He says the other ones looked a little more human.
Human, okay.
Which I find interesting because whether it be the Betty and Barney Hill case or the Travis Walton case or this case or most of these abduction cases, they're abducted by something. And then there's always some kind of human figure,
right?
Maybe in some of them say that they look like they were dressed in general suits, military suits or something like that. And I believe Travis Walton's case, he talks about how the more humanoid figures look like they were wearing overalls. There's always some sort of more human looking entity around.
Right,
which is kind of interesting when you really start to break it down. You're like, wow, this is in almost every story.
Yeah, it does seem like that. There's some type of
we would discover this technology and use it, and then we would build a robot to go and do the dirty work.
Right, and then we're sitting up at home base all right, so we got another specimen coming in.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense.
Right.
You're not going to get your hands dirty and almost get shot by some crazy human. You might as well send out your little biological to go pick them up. It makes it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is pretty interesting. That's kind of a constant in a lot of these abduction stories. So anyway, he's sitting on the table and the tests, right? The more humanoid being. Did I make this up, or did he say that he was kind of the alien was? Or this being was putting his finger in his throat, trying to go for his nasal cavity.
Yeah. He put his fingers in his mouth and then reached up to feel the back of his nasal cavity. Yeah, that's so exactly
weird. Right. So weird. And yeah, do you remember what else happened with the examination? I think I'm a little fuzzy with that part. Because I think that's the only thing that stuck out to me in my memory. I mean, I watched that video, or I listened to that interview like one and a half times. They gave him, a full body examination. He says that one part really sticks out in my mind too, because he says that he had blood on his shirt afterwards. Right. Yeah. And he wished he had kept the clothes and stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was the same thing, like just taking samples and hair samples and picking his boogers,
looking at his nose and his mouth, and they were looking into his eyes and stuff like that, and he couldn't move, kind of feeling around like his bone structure and stuff like that. That's pretty much, we're getting kind of the basic examination as well in all of these stories too.
It seems like something that we can relate that to is if we're on an expedition in the Amazon and we come across this frog that I've never seen. Like we're gonna like pick it up with some gloves because we don't know if it's poisonous. We're gonna maybe put it in a jar. It's probably gonna be freaking out. Maybe we'll throw a sheet over it so it can't see, so it's a little bit more calm. You do that with like some reptiles like snakes or something. And then you just kind of look at it with bright lights. Yeah. And then you once you kind of figure out it's not poisonous or something, then you kind of like pick it up, you look at it and just, kind of fool with it.
You take scale samples. And
just like swab it. Yeah. It
maybe take some blood,
stick it with a needle. I mean, it all just kind of, like we were saying, the fractal nature of the universe. It's kind of the same thing with, like, it seems to be the same thing with these.
We're just a science experiment, just like the rest of the world. You know? Yeah.
And this sounds like one of the more different species that I've ever heard of, because I've never heard of this biological robot with the pointy things coming out of the face and head. I wonder, like, I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they do the examination, and this other interview I was listening to that wasn't in this first interview was talking about the wall kind of dissolved into this like little diamond, and it came out. We skipped over the part where there's this blue little deck of cards sized.
It came out of the ceiling.
Out of the ceiling, and it kind of like surrounded him and like click, 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 and it was almost like CAT scanning him in a way, Yeah. So that was interesting too.
Taking pictures of him while he's just laying there.
Yeah. So after that, a kind of like diamond kind of thing came out of the wall and like just kind of stared at him and kind of moved around a little bit and then like dissolved back into the wall. What? I thought that was really weird. It sounded like
crazy,
or it was like a cube thing, maybe not a diamond. So that was really weird. That was in another interview that I was listening to. Anyway, so after that, that's pretty much it. They take them both out and
they drop them back off.
Drop them back off where they were, and then they go back to fishing like nothing ever happened.
He's like, he's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't go back to fishing. But like, Charles, which is the older one, the 40-year-old, tells Calvin, who's like 19 at the time, like, hey, do not tell anybody, as they're like regaining consciousness and not consciousness, but like their movement, the feeling in their bodies and things like that.
Well, because Calvin's getting ready to get married, right?
Oh, right.
Calvin's getting ready to get married. Yeah. He doesn't want anybody to know about it.
He's the younger one.
He's like, I don't want my wife to know, or her family, or my family to know. They think we're just going to be two dummies sitting out here drinking beer, getting drunk.
Exactly.
Right? And Calvin's like, I'm not Calvin.
Charles.
Yeah, Charles. He's like, we got to say something to somebody.
Yeah.
So they call the Air Force.
Yeah, they drive to this gas station. They call the Air Force, and that lady picks up. And she's like, oh, we don't deal with UFOs or anything anymore. Project Blue Book is over. It's been over for 4 years. It stopped in 1969, which is kind of weird, too. 1969. Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Air Force, the local Air Force is like, no, honey, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Call you a local police station. I don't know why she's like a New York smoker. I don't know, honey. Call your local police station. So they hang up and they call a local police station, and they're like, all right, guys, stay right there. We're coming to get you. Because they probably think they're high on something. Or
Yeah, they're like, these guys are drunk.
Yeah.
Why don't you get in the car and kill nobody?
Yeah.
We'll be right over.
yeah.
And Calvin says that when they showed up quick. Like, they drove up pretty fast. Like, they were on a mission to do something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, another specific that we kind of skipped was when they got back to their truck to drive to the gas station and call the Air Force. The passenger windshield of the truck, it was kind of like a new truck, the window was kind of shattered, but it was being held together by some kind of unshatterable mechanism, or I think they put like some kind of plastic, or
They said it was like a plexiglass.
yeah, but it's in most cars nowadays, so it doesn't shatter and cut your face if you get in a car wreck or whatever. It's what keeps the window together, but it was shattered. Like something shattered it. Like somebody hit it with a baseball bat or something. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But that's just like another really small specific detail that he gives.
Yeah. I wonder why the window was shattered.
Man, I don't know. Could be some kind of frequency that they're letting out from the ship,
maybe,
or something like that only resonates with glass in a certain way. And also, like, they couldn't start the car for a little while, and this was like a new car, so it like drained the battery, maybe.
Yeah. Because whenever a UFO shows up, batteries die.
That's
lights
like a
go
typical
on and off. The radio starts going crazy. And all this stuff happens without the car even being on. It kills the car off. So yeah, dude, totally. That's plausible.
Stays in line with other stories. Which is like, honestly, one of the first stories. This is like one of the timing of this after. This is after Betty and Barney Hill, right? But around the same time. I can't remember, what was it? 64?
Early 60s. Yeah.
Okay. But this is way before the internet. So nobody's talking about these specific details yet.
Right.
So all these specifics that happened are just, I don't know, pretty important, I feel like. So anyway, the cops get there and pick him up, and they drive him. They escort him back to the police station to have some questioning.
They made them do all kinds of sobriety tests things like that before they picked them up, because they did think they were fucked up.
Yeah.
They were like, we're going to go arrest these two guys.
Yeah.
They get there and they start telling their story, and they make them do field sobriety tests, and they pass everything, and they're like, well, let's go back to the station and get a report, because, you guys aren't drunk, and, seem to be fine. Like,
right.
But this is a pretty crazy story. How about you come back?
Dude, I just remembered another specific detail that I forgot about. So when they're in the examination room and the human-like being comes up to Calvin, he says his brain kind of felt like a radio was switching on. And it talked to him. It said, everything's going to be fine. We're not here to hurt you. So that's an important detail for what's coming up later. So sorry, I forgot that detail.
Do you think people that have negative abduction experiences are, maybe it's because they're really restless and they're fighting it?
Yeah, it could be kind of like drugs, man.
Like a bad trip or a good trip. It just kind of depends on how you behave and how you prepare for it.
Right.
Obviously, you can't prepare for something like this, right? An abduction.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, you hear about like when people do LSD or something like that. When you fight against it, you have like a terrible trip, or you're in a really bad scenario and you really kind of fight it. Maybe it just has to do with chemical imbalances or something like that.
Something,
like,
man.
You're putting way too much adrenaline out, in your bloodstream or whatever.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Maybe they're, I don't know, man. But some people do have negative abduction experiences.
I feel like there's I don't know the percentage, but you hear about a lot more negative experiences.
And dude, maybe the negativity just comes from being so scared. You're just like, I don't ever want that to happen again.
Yeah,
that is so scary.
Yeah,
like I don't know what these things are.
I was thinking about that the other day. I think it was our first podcast episode that we talked about, would you go with the alien if it came and wanted to take you up? I kind of want to change my answer.
To know?
To like, I don't know if I would be so willing to go. Yeah. Because you don't know if it's going to be a good being or a creature or a bad one. You know, I don't know. I kind of want to change my answer.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it depends on who it is.
I don't want something sticking its finger in my mouth, man.
Yeah.
Or in my other side.
Uh-huh.
You know? That's the only reason I'm changing my answer, dude. I don't want to get stuck with a needle. Like, hey, if an alien's listening out there, I'll go with you, but like, let's chill and watch a movie or something. I don't want to.
Yeah. And don't just like show up in the corner or something.
Oh,
creepy. You know what I'm saying? Like of your room.
No.
Like don't just stand there.
Fuck that.
Or like don't make me like wake up and like you're just hovering over me or some shit. You know, like no.
Do like a Corey Good thing where it's just a ball of light. That sounds like a way more.
And you have to accept it.
Yes.
And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But then when you get there and it's not a ball of light, then what do? You're like, okay.
Ah, man. I mean, you hear a lot about those abduction stories where there's like a freaking creature in the corner, like you're saying. And then, oh my, dude, it gave me chills. Like that
me too.
freaks me out,
Me too.
dude. Can't you just imagine it? Like that shit has kept me up at night thinking about that.
Yeah.
Just imagine like there's maybe one beam of light coming through your blinds or something, and you see like half of a face that's just staring at you with these black eyes, dude. Oh no.
Like who's the other abduction case? The guy that you were talking about? He's got the special on Netflix.
Stan Romanek.
Yeah. Like some of those pictures that he took where they're just kind of creeping in the window.
All right.
Dude, get the fuck out of here with that.
Okay,
stop doing that.
Have you seen the Extraordinary or not?
Yeah. I've seen the first one. Uh-huh.
So there's a new one called The Seeding coming out on the I think next month. Mm-hmm. But this one. Okay, there's the video of the alien creeping his head in, and then there's the one in the kitchen where it. To me, like half of me thinks that's a freaking puppet, but the other half is like
in the sliding glass door.
Yeah,
where he kind of like shows most of his body and then kind of goes back.
That one,
and then,
yes,
like, pokes his head back out again.
Yes,
yeah.
Half of me thinks it's a puppet, but half of me is like what we talked about before. Like we've never seen a creature move.
Yeah,
like
how
that.
would we know?
How would we know how it moved or looks like? What does it look like? Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing we've talked about before. Like maybe. Man, they just probably move differently. Maybe they're used to different gravity.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Have you seen the case of the family that's in the house and apparently they're like the aliens are outside and they're like walking around outside and then all of a sudden they make it inside the house and they start walking down the hallway, but like the family has a shotgun and they shoot one of them.
What?
And they kind of like go away and then they have this body and they put it in the room and they're like, get away from the windows, and they're like yelling and they have it like on like an old camcorder and they're recording this whole thing and they have the body, but then they don't know where the body went.
We gotta find this video.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember what it was.
Oh my god!
A million people could probably be like, "Oh, it's been debunked," but like, no, it was a cool video. We'll have to find it. We'll have to find it. It's pretty cool.
Well, even if it is fake, that sounds like a fun video to watch.
Yeah. It's because they're like yelling. They see it like they're outside and they're hanging out and they see it like out in the woods and they're like, what is that?
Yeah.
And they're like, everybody get in the house, and they start getting in the house, and then there's like multiple of them that walk out of the woods.
Yeah.
And they start coming to the house, and they're like, oh, and they can like hear them on the roof, and they can like hear them
on the roof.
They can hear them like at the doors. Yeah.
Get off the damn roof. That's some freaky shit.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Man.
That's creepy. What are you doing
Dude,
up
what
there?
What if it's just like a bunch of teenage aliens and they're like, hey, can we bum a cigarette or do you have any liquor in your house? They're just super desperate.
Yeah. Oh, man. Like, yeah. Like, if you can telepathically communicate with me before you come out of the woods or some shit, be like, hey, I'm in the woods.
Hey, dude, wake up, man.
I'm in the woods. Don't freak out. I'm going to come out. I'm an alien.
Yeah.
Don't freak out. Okay. Like, I'm just letting you know I'm here.
You could call me Jeff.
Yeah. And I'm coming out, but just don't freak out. Like, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd think after all this time they would know the cultural or the human
the response.
The response they're going to get when you just roll up on somebody and just take them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You'd hope that they'd be like, hey, man, you got any Lunchables, dude?
I'll be like, well, as a matter of fact, yeah.
Do you like black cherry?
I do. This one has a cookie in it. But yeah, so they end up taking the guys down to the station. What I thought was kind of cool about this detail was that he says they didn't even follow us. They let us follow them. So they followed the police back, sheriff back to the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, normally you'd think that they'd go behind him or whatever.
Yeah, or cuff them and put them in the car until they figure out more information.
Right.
But, they were like, let's go down to the sheriff's department.
Man, 73 was a pretty chill time.
Right.
Super chill. So they get back to the police station and they're asking them all kinds of questions, and they get their story on tape. I'm guessing. What I wouldn't give to listen to that tape.
Seriously.
The interrogation or questioning tape. And they do kind of like an examination, but the whole time Calvin's thinking in his head, man, what if I'm infected with some kind of alien disease, and I've just infected the whole town. Like, maybe you guys should check me for radiation, like bring some Geiger counters in here and whatever, but they just kind of brush it off or whatever the police department does. They just kind of question him and say, hey, just don't tell anybody. Just, keep it on the low. Don't tell, the news or anything like that, and then go home. So they go home. And
he tells the sheriff, please don't say anything to anybody. And the sheriff says, I'm not a reporter.
Right.
I'm here to solve crimes.
Right. Yeah.
I'm in the business of solving crimes. I'm not in the business to report things.
Yeah. Right. So they go home, and Calvin goes home and takes his clothes off because he thinks maybe he's infected with something, and burns them, and then
he pours bleach all over his body.
He's
washes. I figured it would kill anything that I had on me.
Yeah, man.
And he had a paper sack. Yeah. That's when he talks about not using the plastic bags. Yeah. He was like, 'cause they were too expensive. We didn't use plastic bags.
Yeah, the specifics, man. Yeah, and he says in the interview, like, man, I wish I wouldn't have burned those clothes because we could have done some kind of test on him.
Because he had the blood from when she did and he calls it a she.
Oh, that's right.
He calls the being a she. Right. He's like, I'm not sure if it was a she, but I guess it had some sort of like feminine quality about it.
Right.
That's always interesting for him to call it a she constantly.
Yeah. That's another constant in some of these abduction cases, is that there seems to be a definition between male and female entities. And a lot of the times it's a female that's doing the inspection or whatever.
Yeah, the tests.
Yeah, the tests. So that's super interesting too, that it was a female. Yeah. But yeah, so he burns the clothes, washes himself with bleach, and then goes. I think they go back to the police station the next day or something, right? And this is where my memory gets kind of fuzzy. So interject when you can.
Well, they don't go back to the police station. They end up going to work. And somehow somebody found out about the story.
Right.
And so the reporters and everybody showed up at the shipyard.
That's right.
And they end up calling them both into the office. And they're like, look, guys, we can't get any work done. We got the phones ringing off the hook.
Right.
There's all these reporters outside. What in the world is going on?
What happened here?
What in tarnations?
We lost.
Can you pause it? Okay, dude, that was weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
We had another little interruption there.
Yeah,
dude. So, anyways, the phone's ringing off the hook, and they just can't get any work done. So they call a lawyer, and a lawyer comes down, I guess, for the shipyard. Or I'm a little confused on that part. Was it Calvin and them's lawyer, or was it like the shipyard, the business lawyer?
I think it might have been the shipyard lawyer.
Yeah. So he comes by and he takes the statement and everything, and then they take him back to the sheriff's office, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because
or
that's
do they take him to the Air Force base?
Oh, they took him. Yes, that's what happened.
They take him to the Air Force
base and the hospital within the Air Force base.
Right.
Yeah.
And they check them for radiation whenever they get there. These guys show up in hazmat suits, and they have little Geiger counters, and they run it over their bodies, and they're like. All right, he's clean. You can bring him in. And so they bring him in, and when they get in the room, it's just like super high profile, like, people from the government and like high profile like reporters and things like that. And they're on this Air Force base, and they want to know what happened. They want to know this story.
Right.
And still to this day, Calvin says he's not sure how the story got out. Apparently, there was a sheriff that he was supposed to meet up with at like a book signing,
right?
And he wanted to ask him some questions. I'm not sure if he ever did or not.
Yeah.
But from what I know, from the best my understanding, apparently he says back then a lot of people had like scanners.
Yeah,
radio
scanners. Probably listening to the police scanner.
Yeah, probably picked up the story and heard about it, and that's how word got out, basically. And it really turned into like a big deal for everybody, for them to end up getting taken to the Air Force Base, and there being like military personnel, and the sheriffs, and the mayor.
Yeah, the mayor shows up.
Everybody like some big status is there and wants to know what happened.
Yeah, and then so was it the same day that J. Allen Hynek, the head of the Project Blue Book showed up?
Yeah, they show up and they interrogate him, ask him questions. And I mean, he did what? He passed polygraph tests.
Yeah, they both took polygraph tests. And Special Investigator Joe Nickel wrote that Hickson's behavior was questionable. But I don't know. The guy doing the polygraph test apparently was maybe not the best suited for the job. I guess I'm just I was reading that, but. Apparently their stories they had them in separate rooms, him and Calvin and the other guy Charles, and their stories matched up exactly, like down to the detail. Mm-hmm. So that's why the guy. So who was the guy that did the regression hypnotic therapy or whatever?
Oh man, I forgot his name. Let's see. Let's see.
Class.
Was that his name?
Philip J. Class? No, that's not him. Anyway, some dude did some regression therapy, like hypnotic thing, and they got out like basically all those details, exactly how he was saying that it happened. And it just seemed to be super, super legit to everybody involved. Like nobody was questioning like, oh, I think these guys are just making up this story to get famous or something like that. Yeah. And then I mean, that's pretty much the rest of the story. That's the end of the story that I know of, other than this other interview I was listening to today. And so I was telling you earlier before the podcast, but I was watching this other interview with Calvin and some other live podcast, and a guest calls in and says, "Hey Charles, I live here in Austin, Texas." Super dope.
Yeah.
And I interviewed Charles a few years back, and he actually came to Austin to speak at this event that I was having. Mm-hmm. And before he went up on stage and spoke to this event, he started trembling and shaking and kind of like freaking out. And as he was like being taken care of, they were like, "Hey, here's some water, sit down." And they're kind of calming him down. And Charles said, "They're here. They're coming." As he's like shaking and trembling, and he says, "Yeah, they're here. They're about to be here."
Oh man.
So the rest of the story is that, right, the second half is you have to sign up for this website to see what happens next.
Yeah.
So that's the only clues we have for the rest of this story.
I know. So, we're gonna figure it out. There's gonna be a part 2 to this story.
Yeah, there has to be,
because we're gonna figure it out. We'll do some digging.
Yeah,
we'll definitely do some digging for you guys. But it's he said one of the throughout the history of this story, people have added things, people have taken stuff out, and so the best thing for him to do was to write the story himself and not have anything changed.
Yeah,
and so that way it would be from his words, and it would go on through history.
Yeah, well, he wrote
his story.
He wrote a couple of books about it, right? So, I mean, that'd be a pretty interesting. I bet we should probably just buy the book and figure out the rest of the story. Yeah, if we really want to know what happened next. Yeah, but that seems to me kind of lead into what happens next, is that they come back. They I don't know.
Because he talks about a second abduction that happened in the 90s. Right?
Yes.
So
in that
that's
interview.
the second half of the story.
Yeah.
And I want to know. Pretty bad.
Know what happened.
Yeah, dude. I'll probably pick up the book here pretty soon.
Yeah. I think we should.
Speaking of shopping online, man, guys, Abduction 51. I bought some more stuff.
Oh yeah.
I bought some more gear. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, dude, I got a hat and I got another shirt.
Dang.
And they were really, really good because I messed up and I ordered the wrong size shirt.
Okay.
And so I got a hold of them like a couple hours later. I purchased it at nighttime, and then in the morning I was like, oh man, like I bought the wrong shirt. Can you send me the right shirt? And they were super helpful. You know, he emailed me back immediately. He was like, yeah, let me see if I can get a hold of the distribution center. And he did, and they fixed it. And so, yeah, dude. So,
well, good customer service.
Yeah, great customer service.
And they were pretty speedy response?
Yeah, extremely speedy.
Damn.
Like within like an hour, my situation had been fixed.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Abduction 51.
That just tells you how good of a company that is.
Yeah, totally.
Like the customer service and like, hey, I messed up and
absolutely
no extra charge or whatever. That's so awesome, dude.
Exactly.
I love it when companies do that, dude.
Yeah, so I'm still waiting on my first round of shirts to get here.
Yeah. Well, they're coming from the UK. So.
Yeah. It's going to take a little bit, but you know, I think they're on the way, man.
Well, they send them on sail the large sailboats. Still, like the Mayflower, like the Mayflower.
The Mayflower.
Mayflower.
But since they're sending mail, I guess, it is the Mayflower now.
Yeah, the Mayflower. Yeah. But yeah, abduction51.com. Use the promo code UFO Garage for 10% off your next order.
That's right.
Got all kinds of cool stuff, man. It's awesome. Oh, and so we got another sponsor.
Yeah.
Called Dr. Squatch. Dude, tell the people about Dr. Squatch,
man. All natural soaps. They're awesome. I ordered some soaps from them, and it's honestly some of the best damn soap I've ever used.
You were telling me you had some kind of like beard oil or something.
Yeah, I'm going to order some beard oil from them here pretty soon.
Yeah.
We'll put a link up for you guys on the website, and we'll probably also maybe put it on Facebook or something.
Yeah,
You guys can go to the link.
We post about it.
We'll put a link on that. And guys, I mean, this soap is delicious smelling, right? Right, and
it's all kind of like manly stuff, like pine and like
citrus and it's delicious.
Yeah,
it's delicious smelling scents. I love it, man. They got all kinds of stuff. They got beard care stuff. They got shampoos. They got conditioners for your hair. They've got shaving products. They even have like a little handle for your bar.
Oh,
for your bar of soap, so you don't drop it.
So you don't drop that.
So you
soap,
never drop the soap, dude, in the shower.
Soap, dude.
Right, Dr. Squatch. It's the best damn soap you've ever used.
Oh.
And if you're not 100% sative, they give you your money back.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome. And you can also go on there now and just get the, they have like a pack of bestsellers. I think it was like 24 bucks.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that expensive.
It may not be. It may be a little cheaper than that, but they send you their top 3 best-selling soaps just so you can try them out. And that's what I got.
Feel like a man, smell like a champion. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, dude. So it is geared more for dudes, but I mean, if chicks are into it, why not? You buy it too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's
this one's called All Natural Manly Soap, and I mean the soap bars look dope, dude.
Yeah,
it looks so cool.
I have the pine tar.
Yep. That's such an awesome scent.
And I have
name.
the cedar citrus. Yep, the pine tar, cedar citrus.
Dope.
And that's the hair care products. They have a line of hair care products.
Yeah,
it's all natural stuff. No chemicals, nothing like that. And usually, I'm into that kind of stuff. I like the natural bar soaps. And I've used a lot of natural bar soaps, and they always dissolve super fast, or they leave you super dry, or super oily.
Right.
On the other hand, right? This stuff, dude, is perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
So no like residue that soap scum that leaves on your skin. That's what I hate about bar soaps, man, because it leaves my skin you try to rub your hand over it and it gets caught.
Yeah, no, this stuff doesn't do that, man. It's really, really awesome, and they give you a little wooden block to put your soap on, and it keeps your soap from getting soap scum, and it makes your bar last longer.
Dang.
So yeah, if you guys order the sampler bundle, how much was it? 20. It says up there. Go up, right down.
Down.
No, down right there. Sampler bundle.
Oh, sampler bundle. Yeah, $27.
$27, 3 soaps, and you get that sweet wooden block.
Dude, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Oh, they have the old school shave stuff with the brush, dude.
The shaving cream.
Man, my dad used to use the little brush at the.
Yeah, so if you guys shave, they have the shaving products, and it comes with the shaving foam stuff and a little brush and a little mug for you to put the brush in. I don't shave. I've got a super awesome beard, so I'm going to use the beard oils instead. But for those of you dudes who do shave, check it out.
Yeah, man. We're working on the promo code because they gave us the wrong one. They put my name in there, but we'll have a link on the site.
Yeah,
I'm thinking I'll just I'll just pop up like a photo at the bottom of the soap, make it look cool, and just like click here to go.
Yeah.
So UFOGaragePC.com. PC stands for podcast. And check it out. I'll put up a link tonight, and then we'll put it on the Facebook post when we post the episode too.
Yeah. Dr. Squatch. I want to see if they still have. So apparently, they made an Area 51 bar.
Ooh.
And I'd like to know more about that, and if it was just kind of a like a promo deal, or if they have it somewhere, because it's not on the site.
Interesting.
So if it's like a hidden bar, like you got to kind of know about it or know some people. It looked pretty sweet. I want to get it, and I think it would be a pretty hot little item.
Limited edition. Oh no,
not that one. Is it Area 51 bar? Does it say?
Petition, Dr. Squatch. We want an Area 51 soap bar.
Yeah,
I see the petition.
Yeah, Area 51 brick.
Oh,
there you go.
That might be like a Photoshop thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but they need to have it.
Yeah,
they need to have it. And the Squatch guy is green.
Yeah, he's got little antennas coming out.
How many? 483 people have signed this petition.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we totally need that bar. Dr. Squatch, guys, if any of you guys are listening, we need that bar.
Yeah, we need it.
It's a pretty sweet soap bar.
Sweet soap bar, you guys.
You even get a travel bag.
Dang, look at that little travel bag.
Put your soap in there, dude.
That's so dope.
Look at that. Everything has 5 stars.
That's pretty sweet.
4.5 stars, 4.5
a lot of
5
reviews.
stars.
89 reviews on the cool fresh aloe.
Yeah.
Dang, that sounds dope.
It's delicious soap, dude.
Eucalyptus yogurt, bro. I might eat that.
Smells awesome.
So
my lady is super pleased.
Nice.
Right? You know,
gotta smell good.
And guys, this is how well it works too, because I work outside all day long. Like I do landscaping, construction type stuff. I'm sweating constantly. I'm covered in grease. You know, I get grease all over me. I get dirt and fertilizers, and you know, I smell terrible when I get home. I use this Dr. Squatch soap, and I'm clean as a whistle.
Dang,
clean
dude.
as a button, bro.
So it doesn't only just smell good, but it cleans well too.
Cleans well.
That's
and
nice.
the grease was one of the big things that I was like, oh, this is going to be the test. Right? Because it was messing with some greasy parts.
Yeah.
And dude, took it right off.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really good stuff.
Usually, like regular hand soaps, it takes like 4 or 5 washes to get grease off of. Especially like if I'm messing with my grill and I get greasy food, coal, charcoal, like residue, like tar, and it just stays over your hands.
It's a manly soap for a manly man.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? If you're doing manly things like getting greasy from your grill,
yeah, man,
from grilling manly foods,
yeah, dude,
it's gonna take it off for you, brother. You know what I'm saying? So
I was gonna say I was grilling zucchini. So
I'm kidding. I didn't.
Come on. I didn't. I swear.
I was making brisket.
I was making meat,
man.
Meat, man.
Yeah. Dr. Squatch, killer soap.
Killing it. Yeah, dude. So sweet. We have two sponsors, bro.
It's pretty awesome, man.
Area 50, abduction51.com. T-shirts. Go buy some T-shirts. Check out drsquatch.com for some badass soaps, oils, all that other stuff.
Hair care products. They even got T-shirts and koozies and things like that.
Nice.
Right?
It's such an awesome brand, too, Dr. Squatch. It just feels nice saying.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's super dope. That's awesome.
We need to sign that petition.
Yeah, we do.
We need that Area 51 brick.
Yeah, dude.
And I like they don't call them soaps, they call them bricks.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. And
I kind of got tired of telling my lady, hey, babe, can you pick me up some body wash? Can you give me some body wash?
Some body wash?
Because I always hear her and she's like, I'm out of body wash. I'm like, oh, babe, I'm almost out of body wash too.
It's like the most unmanly thing.
But now I could just be a man.
Some soap bricks.
And I can order my own soap bricks off the internet from Dr. Squatch.
That's way better.
Babe, can you hand me my brick of soap?
My brick of soap. Woman.
I never call her woman.
Yeah, I would never do that.
No. They get upset.
No.
And it doesn't care. It doesn't matter how good you smell, right?
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a little break from our sponsors.
Yeah, awesome.
Also, go to UFO Garage PC and check out our merchandise.
Yeah, buy a shirt, please. That'd be awesome because it's funding us buying some GoPros. We want to start filming this and put it on YouTube. We just recently started uploading some of our episodes to YouTube, but it's just that graphic that I created of our brand. So we want to start doing a videoed podcast, like so people can be in the room with us and just kind of hang out with us. You know, if you're at home drinking a beer and talk about aliens with us. That's really what I want to get at. But those GoPros are expensive.
I'd even like to do like a live feed one day.
Yeah,
where people can just kind of
ask us questions
live.
Yeah,
we can answer them right there.
Yeah, or like submit things like, hey, you guys should check this out, and then we'll watch a YouTube video together.
Yeah,
or something like that. Like
so we can show you guys what we're looking at too.
Yes, exactly.
We do it for you.
We do it for you. I did it for you.
I did it for you.
I made this.
I made it for you. Look what I did here. Yes, dude. Sweet.
So yeah,
sweet.
Help us out. Oh, and also like give us a like on Facebook. Or if whatever podcast outlet you're listening to, give us a thumbs up or give us a rating.
Yeah,
we really could use some rating on like iTunes and stuff. We only have like one rating. Help us out.
It's a good rating.
Yeah, it's a good rating.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need some more thumbs up, some likes, some subscribes on YouTube. Check it out.
Just leave a comment and say hi.
Yeah.
Say what's up. Say you guys suck.
We got a lot of awesome, like, really positive feedback on YouTube.
People were super nice.
Yeah, so nice. Like,
I was really surprised by that.
People commenting like, "Hey, I came here from Spotify to give you a thumbs up," and I just want to tell you like how it's such an awesome. I loved that so much.
Yeah,
like people are actually like enjoying listening to our podcast and us bullshit about.
Totally brightened my day for sure, man. For sure. Seriously. It was.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
So we have one more topic if you want to go through it. We're about the same length as last time. We might as well talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, we can go through it.
So I recently just subscribed to CETV. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's kind of like Gaia, but it's mainly like
Close Encounters.
I don't think so. I think it's consciousness something, but it's CETV, something like that. But lots of exclusive interviews. One's with like Dr. Greer. I can't wait to listen to that one. One's with David Wilcock, who all of y'all know that I love. So I listened to one of his, David Wilcock's, and it's about taking down the Cabal. And I thought this was super, super interesting. The setup is kind of like, I guess, the interviewers ask him a question, and then he, David Wilcock is in his own house or whatever. He's videotaping his own house. So he answers questions, and one of the first questions is, what does he think of Trump? And man, this interview is so interesting. You can sign up for like a free month trial, so I'm just gonna like listen to my stuff and probably back out.
Totally.
But anyway, if y'all want to check it out, this interview. So they're talking to David Wilcock, and he's talking about Trump. And this is something that you and me, Joe, have talked about, like the Cabal and the Alliance and things like that. So there's two sides. If you guys listening don't know what I'm talking about, there's two sides to basically like this UFO disclosure / dark government, black budget government going on. There's the Cabal that owns all that black budget projects, and have basically been running the government for a while. That's like kind of the conspiracy behind it.
They're the guys in the shadows.
They're the guys in the shadows that nobody knows of, like the Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers,
the Bushes.
Yeah. And they've just been in power through this bloodline for hundreds of years, like dating back to like the 1600s. From Europe. and the opposite to that is called the Alliance, and that's also been around for maybe just a couple hundred years. Like basically when we moved to America and it started to get pretty bad, that this Alliance, came about. So the Alliance is kind of the good guys, and the Cabal is kind of the bad guys.
The bad guys.
And as we know, like there's all these conspiracy, maybe not even conspiracy out there. There's a lot of theories out there, and a lot of proof pointing to this Cabal that it actually exists.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
And I'm sold on it. Like, so anyway, he's talking.
I think I am too. I mean, it does get mixed up in the crazy conspiracy world, and people just kind of brush it off because it's like, yeah, of course, people with power,
because it's
of course, yeah, but it sounds crazy. But when you start really going back and looking at this throughout history, you're like, these people have been involved for hundreds of years.
Remember that there's like
deciding what the world is going to do.
Yeah,
and still doing it to this day,
and putting the leaders in power that all share the same relative. Remember that 13-year-old girl that did that science project?
Every president is related somehow through bloodline.
Yes,
whether it be cousins or second cousin.
Right.
Every one of them is related.
There is a royal bloodline, and it totally coincides with what everybody's been saying for years and years and years. David. So anyway, David Wilcock, he brings this fact up. He's been talking about this stuff, by the way, since like 2008. Yeah, probably even earlier than that. But so the question that was posed is like, what do you think about Trump? And okay, so I'm just kind of regurgitating what he told me, and I'm not a very political guy.
We're not subscribing to any side.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Trump supporter. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I don't know where I lie. So this is totally unbiased. Like, this is just me really relaying information. But what he says is like, and David also says, hey, I'm not a huge Trump supporter, but this is what I know from my insiders. Right. David's got a lot of insiders that he can't really disclose what their names are, but they're high up in the Alliance. And, that the Alliance could be anybody in government that's not a part of the Cabal, or maybe they're like double agents or something like that. So it could be freaking anybody that's leaking information to David. And he's a really trustworthy guy that doesn't give away his sources. So anyway, they're kind of talking about Trump. Basically, what the information that David got was that Trump was approached by the Alliance, and maybe they helped him out to win the election so that he could bring the Cabal down. And it coincides with these sealed indictments that were first made known to David Wilcock back in 2009. These sealed indictments, there was like 50,000 of them. And basically what they are legal charges against just illegal, evil shit that's happening in our government and people surrounding power and politics. And one of them happened to be the Jeffrey Epstein thing that just got released under Trump's administration. So it kind of, you start to see where it's starting to make sense. Like, all right, so all that we hear about, Trump has a dumbass, he's tweeting some dumb shit all the time. And he says some stuff that's not good, right? We can all agree that
it's Trump.
It's Trump.
It's exactly what you would think Donald Trump would be. Right?
And he's just not conventional. He's not from a political background, and he's just like this outsider that came in, and he's just putting down the hammer and putting, a lot of stuff is happening. A lot of people are getting fired. Of course, he's been in, like Steve Bannon, like in cahoots with him. Like, he's probably not a good guy either. Right. So there's a lot of gray aries. You
think like when you get up to that level though, there's just
everybody's
got some shit. Because in order to get to that level, I mean, I'd assume you don't play very fair.
Right.
In that arena.
Right.
You got to pull strings for people, and you got to do things to get what you want to get to where you need to be.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So everybody's probably got a little something.
Yeah.
A little dirt under their nails.
Right.
Some people murder people and have sex with children, but I mean, it's definitely worse than others. But everybody's got a little something up there, I believe.
Yeah, man. And so before I kind of go in on Jeffrey Epstein, I kind of want to explain what the Cabal. So David kind of goes in on what the Cabal is, what the origins are from. So he says basically they believe in this Luciferian belief that they are descendants from this bloodline of Lucifer, which is a fallen angel, an alien species that crash landed here, that came here for refuge a couple million years ago.
Yeah.
And his ship, his huge mothership and a bunch of other ships are basically under the ice in Antarctica. And I know this sounds crazy.
Oh, yeah, not to me.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. So that's what the Cabal is from. They believe that they are direct bloodline descendants from Lucifer. Lucifer is the name given to the commander of this alien ship that was crash landed, or maybe just landed a couple million years ago in Antarctica, seeking refuge because their planet exploded or got destroyed somehow. So that's where it all comes from, and they still to this day believe that they're these descendants and that they have this idea that they're the chosen ones and they can't do whatever they do, whether it be lying, cheating, stealing, having sex with kids, like pedophilia and stuff like that. It doesn't matter because they're chosen and they're a part of this bloodline. So. Yeah, our
and kids play a big role, whether it come from their being sacrificed, to them also being virgins, pure blood, things like that. It's that Luciferian thing gets a little crazy.
It really does, and it makes me weird. I feel weird talking about it, so we don't have to spend a lot of time talking about it because it's kind of a bummer.
Do you think there's a difference though in between like that and like Satanists?
I think so. Because I think Satanists aren't a part of the bloodline. They're just like they're. I don't know. I don't know much about Satanism, but I know that it spawns from just basically the opposite of.
Because a lot of people have like misconceptions about it. I don't know a whole lot about it either, but it's kind of the same thing as like witches, right? Everybody's like, "Ooh, witches are evil." But there's not. There's like good witches, like like the Wiccans and stuff like that. And like there's different types. Obviously, some people would use it for evil, but then obviously there's some good witches, right? I mean, look at Stevie Nicks, the White Witch.
Was she a witch?
I don't know. Have you ever seen American Horror Story?
No.
She's in a couple of the episodes, and she's part of the good witches, right?
Nice.
But like witches aren't bad. There's negative spells that you could probably use that are maybe from this Luciferian text, right? But then there's also spells that are for good. And most witches don't mess with stuff like that. They're kind of like, you're not supposed to touch things like that.
Yeah.
If we have to use it, it's for a very important purpose. But we're not about that life. Right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's kind of like that same kind of misconception of like Satanists and maybe this Luciferian bloodline that we're talking about.
Right.
So I don't want to like jump in and just lump them in automatically.
Yeah.
Right. With those kind of people, because it's probably
a lot of gray area.
A lot of differences between that.
I think so too. Yeah. There's a lot of gray area, and there's all the stuff that we don't know. Again, we're just Dr. Scientists.
We're just Dr. Scientists.
We're not experts on this stuff. But yeah, man, like I just thought it was super interesting that I've never heard that backstory before, but it kind of like falls in line with everything we've been talking about so far in this podcast. Is like that origin story of we came here and we were seeded by this alien race.
Right.
And I don't know. It just it begs the question, like, if that were, let's say that were true. Okay, so this alien species came with a bunch of thousands, maybe millions, and they started seeding the earth, and they started genetically altering. Does that mean that we all derived from this one species, or maybe there was already species here living? Because that's what he also says is that there were already alien species living here too, but then Lucifer, I guess the alien species, kind of took over, and like that's where the power comes from. Is that he needed to have that power. He wanted to rule the earth and have that one world government thing. So that's where it's just the same ideology kind of goes up the ladder, and we're still dealing with it today.
Is that kind of like pre-Anunnaki stuff, or like
It has to be, yeah.
or is that like Anunnaki on?
Maybe they are the Anunnaki.
Because you have it's like what it was like. You have the Nephilim, right? That we hear about,
Yeah.
which were separated from the other ones, which were the Elohim, right? And so there was like 300 out in space, and then there was 300 here on Earth that ran shit, basically.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know about this. What is it?
I'm not sure if like there's just so many of these like ancient cultures, ancient stories, ancient alien type stories.
Yeah.
And that's where I get lost is I don't know, like, are they all the same thing? Are we all talking about the same thing? Or are they completely different stories that happened in this different timeline?
Dude, yeah, and you could say the same thing about Atlantis. You know, the species that lived in Atlantis. You know, this really technologically advanced civilization could have just been on the timeline a little later than the Anunnaki.
Right.
Or maybe they were before. So yeah, no, I get that. Like being confused on, and the answer I feel like is that it doesn't have to be just one. Because I feel like this Earth has been habited by many high civilized species of people.
Yeah,
You know, I would call any alien a person. You know, I think if we're using that context, like maybe it doesn't have to be just okay. This is that. This is that. This is that. Maybe there wasn't just one, but there's multiple.
That kind of ran things at this time, and then the other ones showed up and was like, we're a little more powerful than you.
Right.
We're going to run stuff now.
Yeah.
Right?
So I wonder, like, it seems like bringing that back into present day, there's obviously not this, like, we're still debating whether or not UFOs are real.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, oh, yeah, no, those are totally fake. That's happening. So there's a difference between now and it seems to be now. There's a difference between now and ancient.
Do you think they played a role in discrediting UFOs and extraterrestrials?
So that they could be in the shadows?
Yeah, so they could continue on running the planet, basically.
I mean, logic tells you, the definition of insanity is trying something over and over and over, expecting different results. I mean, it only makes sense that, yeah, they tried all this shit, like even with the Greek gods and all that. And now it's just, all right, we've tried that way too many times to be in power. It's not working. Like we can't just show up whenever we want and then just influence the human race and then just leave because, we got to go pick up some McDonald's halfway across the universe.
Yeah. We got to stay here.
So maybe they're just trying something different and they're all these species are agreeing like, hey, don't fuck with them. Like, don't, and there's these other species that slip through the cracks and are trying to guide us in secret. And that's why they're secret not only to us, but they want to remain secret to the rest of the
civilizations that are out there.
The civilizations, that are policing how much they're influencing the human race. So maybe that's why it's so secret, because they're doing it illegally. And
then we see them coming through the sky.
Yeah.
Maybe they're looking for these groups and they're using the military-industrial complex to shoot them out of the sky and keep them prisoner
and monitor them
and things like that. The Cabal is doing this, right? And then it's like it's all fake, right? That's not real. UFOs aren't real. Aliens aren't real. But now, I guess if you're saying that like during Trump's presidency, we're kind of breaking these walls and kind of cracking open this case a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, now we're getting all this information that, UFOs are real. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
These aerial vehicles exist.
Yeah.
You can believe that now.
So I wonder what the purpose is of this disclosure coming out if because I do believe it's happening. I think disclosure is happening in a very subtle way, in a very slow way. And I wonder what the purpose is. Do you think it's going to be like, hey, we're one day, maybe, it's just a slow progression. Maybe in 2025, if we jumped in the future, it's just a well-known thing that, there's just aliens sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
Because I feel like we're gonna get there for sure. And then I feel like it's gonna come out that, they know basically our future and they know what's best. So we're just gonna let them run shit and make decisions.
Man, I can't help to think that, is there another race out there that, like we always say, why are they here? Why are they observing us? Are they waiting for that moment to where the Cabal decides to do some crazy shit, and then they're going to come and intervene? Like, they already know that they're here, but it's not time for us to really receive that yet.
Yeah.
And then once some crazy stuff does start happening, like, they showed up because we learned the secrets of thermonuclear weapons, right?
Right.
And so they were like, whoa, how'd they figure that out? So they went down there and they're like, oh my God.
It's way worse than we thought.
God damn it.
They're smoking weed.
Yeah. They're like, Lucifer and Tom and Jeff are down there.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just go down there and get them, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like whenever you do like a secret operation. Like, you can't just bust in and go get the guy. You have to plan it out. You have to kind of like, okay, we'll let him run his operation for a few months. We'll kind of track his phone calls. We'll figure out the people he's talking to.
Right. Maybe they have to get a warrant from the space Alliance.
Maybe. They don't want them coming down here because maybe this Cabal has some serious power, serious weaponry that has never been seen before.
Yeah,
and they can't just come down here blowing shit up, right? They're not here to destroy us, but if they come down here trying to stop this, maybe the Cabal will destroy us.
Damn.
So maybe the thermonuclear weapon, the scorched earth policy of, if you launch nukes, we launch nukes,
right,
they launch nukes, we're all fucking dead, right? Maybe the ones that are up there keeping an eye on things don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So they're keeping their distance until they can figure out a way to kind of sort this out.
Yeah.
I
mean, it more and more as you're saying that, I'm just kind of thinking in my head that it just logically would make sense that this, higher civilization is kind of just nurturing us and wants us to make it.
Yeah.
We're not just an experiment. We're like the prodigy. We're the next evolution, and they're kind of like, they want us to survive. They want the human race because they see that we're good, or like you were saying, like, we live in a very heavy dimension and they want to see us successful.
Yeah.
And then there's these other species that doesn't want any. There's too many cooks in the pot, or cooks in the kitchen. And they
it's like they're holding us hostage at gunpoint.
Yeah.
They're like, don't move or we'll shoot him.
Right.
We'll blow his head off.
Yes.
And that's the human race right now.
Yeah.
The Cabal has a gun pointed at our heads, and they're backing themselves slowly into an alleyway.
Yeah.
Trying to lock themselves away.
Right. Meanwhile, they're in their castles and their yachts, and they're fucking living the best life, dude. Which brings me back to Jeffrey Epstein. Do I believe he's an Illuminati or a part of the Cabal? I don't know, man. There's no evidence to suggest that, but he's a very rich and powerful man that doesn't come from much. So he could just be an outsider, and now he's getting the blame for a lot of bad deeds. Maybe the guy is the orchestrator of a lot of these bad deeds. I mean, he has his own private island. His title is a financier, but it seems to be like more research that I do is that he didn't really do much.
He was like a hedge fund manager, but he's not.
He just moved money around, or like laundered money, like. Yeah, he was just some slime bag that politicians and very rich people could just move and let him handle their money. So if shit came down, they weren't responsible.
Right.
And it would all come down to Jeffrey Epstein. But it just seems more and more like, man, I don't know. It seems like wherever power goes, evil shit follows.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
More and more every day, it just feels like the people in power, there's something evil that follows, man.
It is every single day.
Yeah,
every single day.
So
I mean, we definitely need to wake up. You know, like when Chris was on the podcast.
Yeah, Chris Doc.
I kind of went off a little bit, and it's like, I was like, it's not me and you against each other, man. It's us versus the state. It's always been that way. And it always will be. I
think it's the powers that be, not so much the state.
Yeah, but they run it.
Yeah, true.
So until, it's kind of like guilty by association.
Yeah.
Right? If you're hanging around with some people that tag up some shit and break into a store, even though you didn't throw the rock or paint anything, you're still going down too because you're around it. Like,
Right.
You're hanging around with that group.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And there's obviously probably people who want to fix it.
Yeah.
Who don't want to be looked at as like this. I'm not an evil government person. I'm just trying to live my life too. And
Right.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
But until we can figure out like what is going on,
Yeah.
it's just hard. I feel like as a human being, it's hard to trust. It's hard to trust people that are just ruling your life.
Yeah, and it's really hard to relate. I mean, talk about an alien. You know, what's the definition of an alien? It's like something that's not from here. It's totally not explainable by our standards. Like, they are not us. They grew up in a different planet. It's almost like, I'm trying to make an analogy to the rich and powerful, the 1% of this world. Like, their lives, their everyday lives, their upbringing, their childhood and to their adulthood, they don't live in the same world we do.
Not at all.
If you think about it. Like,
not at all.
I was watching this this new Netflix documentary called The Family, and it has to do, like, the investigative journalist. He was like, man, I think he was like 20, maybe 19. He basically befriended somebody that was a part of this organization called The Family. And it's this religious group that followed Jesus, and that's all that they would say. He said, hey, come, yeah, we just live in this mansion in Washington, and we hang out, we talk about Jesus, and we play basketball, and we clean toilets and like do landscaping for all these powerful political people in Washington.
Yeah.
So he moves this little cul-de-sac, and sure enough, it's exactly like what the buddy said. And these dudes that are around, is like maybe 15 dudes living in a house. Well, I think there's 13. So it's like one main dude and 12 apostles, basically, like Jesus, bro.
Yeah.
So the main dude hands the investigative journalist, who he's going undercover, by the way, this book, and it just says Jesus on it, and it's like this tiny little thin book compared to the Bible. And he was carrying around a Bible. He said, you don't have to read the Bible, just read the Jesus book that I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Don't read anything else. Don't pay attention to the Bible. Like, so it's this like religious cult thing going on. And I mean, have you ever heard of that? Like, who does that?
No.
That comes from a different world that I live in.
Yeah.
And they just live there, and they,
that's crazy.
yeah. And it's just, it goes way more levels deeper. And I don't know, if you guys are listening and want to check it out, it's really interesting on Netflix. It's called The Family.
There's so many levels to this stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, we're probably jumping all over the place, but there's so many levels.
Yeah.
Like, you can go so many directions, so many people, so many organizations.
It's like a 5-layer burrito from
it's just
Taco
hard
Bell,
to
man.
keep track of all of it, man. Like,
It really is. It's a web. It's not a timeline.
Yeah, it's definitely a web.
Yeah.
Absolutely a web. And it's an insane web.
Yeah, man. One more thing about Jeffrey Epstein, the weird shit that's been happening around it, and the accusations against the Clintons. Man, I'm just glad that people are talking about that, because we've known about the weird suicides that surround the Clintons for years now, and it's like finally
strange. It's pretty strange.
Yeah,
56 people.
Yeah,
I think was the number
that have
somehow connected
to the Clintons
or related to 56 people.
Yeah, that have killed
suicide.
themselves.
It's like, what?
That have known some shit about the Clintons or worked for them at some point, and they're suicided.
Like, holy crap.
That's some weird ass shit, bro.
Yeah.
And now this Jeffrey Epstein thing. So what I was saying earlier, the photos that they got of him, of his body coming out, they have just one photo of his face, and somebody did this line drawing comparison between a profile shot, that this photo of the dead body, his face, is a profile shot, like perfect. Mm-hmm. And they do a comparison with a profile shot of him alive, and the nose is different, and the ears are different, the hairline's different, the sideburns are different, the chin is different. It's not his face, dude.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I don't know, man. But what this meme, or not meme, but like a graphic showed, was a comparison between Hillary Clinton's brother, who died in June, this past June. And you do the comparison, and the nose is the same.
Ooh.
The ears are the same. The hairline's the same. The sideburns the same, and the chin's the same.
Holy crap.
So what? I know that sounds fucking crazy, dude, but if you
like, Epstein's still alive, and they just showed pictures of her brother.
Yes.
I thought about that too.
Yeah,
like
man.
maybe he's not dead.
Yeah, maybe he was the guard. Maybe he put the guard's clothes on and fucking escaped.
Yeah.
Or hell, maybe a UFO came in and zapped him through the roof.
Who knows?
Who knows, man?
God
knows?
damn.
But isn't that some heavy shit?
It's pretty heavy.
I mean, look for yourself. I mean, we could pull it up, but like,
But you guys can't see it, so I mean,
yeah, that
it
doesn't matter. Yeah,
but,
yeah, well.
but if you buy our shirts and help us out, we will. You can see
Yeah,
it.
if we buy our shirts and contribute to our sponsors, we can save up enough money. We have $24. Somebody bought one shirt.
Woohoo!
So we got a long way to go.
Yep. We're $24 richer, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Such a lucrative. We're not doing it for the money. We're doing it for fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally started for fun.
I'd love to quit my job and do this full time, but
Hell yeah.
you know, we got to sell a lot more
Pretty
shirts,
sweet.
a lot more soap,
More
a lot
soap, dude. More
shirts.
shirts.
Yeah,
More coffee mugs.
yeah, man.
Got to get on the ball. Got to get on the ball. Not the Cabal,
Nah, not the Cabal, dude.
but the good ball. I wonder who. So the Alliance. I wonder who that organization is.
Yeah, man, I'd love to know that.
Because like you hear of like all the secret societies. The Skull and Bones,
Yeah.
the Illuminati, like all these other people.
Yeah, I wonder if the Masons have anything to do with it.
I don't know. And it's always weird to me because like the Illuminati, the enlightened ones, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like they always get like this bad rap. You think maybe they take this bad rap, but really they're not the bad ones?
Yeah, maybe.
Like the Knights Templar,
Could
like
be.
like I don't know.
I mean, it was said that like the Knights of Templar were good people,
yeah, supposedly.
supposedly. Who knows?
I mean, they did go crusade and murder a bunch of
shit.
non-Christians.
Yeah,
so.
that's right.
I mean,
I take it back. They were bad people. You will believe in my religion or I will kill you. If
Yeah.
you say you don't, I'm going to kill you.
yeah.
God damn it. People suck sometimes,
People
man.
do suck, dude. Why can't we all just be cool?
Yeah, man.
Just be cool, man.
Let's just hang out.
Be like Fonzie and be cool.
Hey.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, the elusive organizations, man. The elusive
Yeah.
organizations.
Yeah, it just seems like, man, it's just bubbling to the surface. Something's going to happen soon. Maybe it's just going to take a little while. And then when we look back and you do like a fast forward of it or like a time lapse, it's all going to make sense.
Yeah.
All this stuff happening. I don't know.
Like by the time we're 70, we'll have like enough time has passed. So
or
we
enough
can-
podcast episodes.
Yeah, we could put it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That'd
Yeah.
be pretty sweet. That'd be
Yeah,
pretty
man.
sweet. But
We'll figure it out one day, dude.
one of these days.
All right, man. Well, that feels like a good place to stop.
That's a pretty good one, man.
Yeah, I think so, too.
You guys don't forget to check out UFO Garage PC.
Yeah.
Our latest podcast gets uploaded to there every single time.
Yeah, every Wednesday.
It's linked to Spreaker.
Yeah, it shows up before iHeartRadio and iTunes and Spotify. It shows up on Spreaker first. So if you're itching to get your Wednesday night podcast session in, check it out on our website. And while you're there, check out our shirts.
Check out our shirts. And don't forget to check out Abduction 51.
Yeah.
They've still got cool stuff. And as I learned this week, they're extremely helpful people.
Yeah.
If you mess up your order.
people, man.
And then don't forget to check out Dr. Squatch, the manly soap for the manly man. And if you're not 100% satisfied, they'll give you your money back.
Soap bricks.
Soap bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome too. So, all right, guys. Well, it was good talking to y'all. And,
Talk to y'all next time.
Talk to y'all next Wednesday.
Yeah.